Namaskar, friends. It is such a pleasure meeting all of you online on this platform. I'm Jagdish Kumar. I'm Chairman UGC. Friends, all of you may be from different backgrounds, very senior academicians, heads of educational institutions, and some of you may be from legal background also. Let me extend a warm welcome to all of you. Friends, the reason why we have joined here is, first of all, to thank all of you for taking up this important responsibility of being the Ombudsperson in the respective educational institutions. You know, today, when students are part of the educational institutions, they stay with us for several years, depending on the nature of their program, UG, PG, and PhD program. In addition to providing high-quality education to them, as academic institutions, it is also our responsibility to take care of their well-being. And often, students in this competitive world, they do face many challenges. And if they have any grievances and any problems, if we do not resolve them in a time-bound manner, that can lead to a lot of stress and pressure in the minds of the students. These are young fellows, and if they feel that the system is not responding to their grievances, they may feel helpless. And there are many things which can trouble the students. It could be, the non-refund of the fees. It could be a problem with their supervisor. It could be some other hostile issue. The number of challenges can vary from place to place, from time to time. And to take care of such problems that our students face, in educational institutions, we must have proper grievance redressal mechanisms. I know in institutions, in universities and colleges, we may have some mechanisms already. But however, at a national level, collectively, we need to think about this challenge, because you're also aware when their grievances are not addressed in a timely manner, when they undergo all kinds of stresses, students, unfortunately, sometimes they also cause self-harm to themselves. And that's the reason why UGC has come up with these regulations. And we have asked all the universities in the country. We have nearly 1170 universities across the country. And you have different kinds of universities. You have state universities, private universities, deemed to be universities, and the centrally funded institutions. And after sending the regulation copy to all the universities and writing to them, I'm glad to inform you that many of the universities have responded positively. And those who already have some kind of grievance redressal system, they have fine-tuned those grievance redressal system and created these grievance redressal committees, and also appointed the Ombudsperson in tune with the regulations that UGC has issued. In this meeting, we will present our officers are here with us. Dr. Deepak Vats, he will make a brief presentation. And more importantly, we would like to hear from all of you if you have any suggestions, or if you have any experiences that you would like to share, how you resolved these grievances and helped our students focus on their academics. We will be very, very glad to listen to your suggestions and feedback also. So now I will request Dr. Deepak Vats to make a brief presentation.
Good afternoon, sir. Before we make a brief presentation on the regulations 2023, I would like to mention that these regulations are not new. Grievance redressal regulations have been in place prior to these regulations also, but they were not effectively implemented, and that's why courts have also drawn our attention to the non-implementation of effective grievance redressal mechanism. As students are the main stakeholders around which the entire higher education system revolves. So their grievances are of vital, their redressal of their grievances of vital importance to everyone in the higher education system. Importance of these 23 regulations can be underscored with the point that Parliamentary Committee on Subordinate Legislation has taken up for a detailed review of these regulations and to review the implementation of these regulations in the entire country. These regulations were issued in the April 23, and after that we have been writing to all the state governments and union territory administration as well as to the vice chancellors of higher universities to implement these regulations. And we are glad to share that more than 700 universities have already appointed ombudsperson, but still there are more than 300 universities, those who are yet to appoint ombudsperson or to inform the UGC. After various attempts to impress upon the universities to appoint ombudsperson, in January, UGC has published the list of defaulting universities, those who have not appointed ombudsperson. And last week, we have written to all the principal secretaries of higher education of the states and union territories, as well as higher education councils in the states which they exist, to ensure the implementation of the regulations in the remaining universities. And we have also copied these communications to the Principal Secretary Education and to Higher Education Councils, to the offices of Chief Minister and governors and lieutenant governors of state and union territories respectively, to ensure that these regulations are implemented in full without further delay in the universities functioning in their respective jurisdiction. Now I would take you through on briefly. These regulations are available on website, and you may go through that. And we have provided copies to all the HEIs multiple times, but still I would like to take you through the regulations. These regulations, as I said, came into force in April 2023. Next slide, please. These UGC regulations of 23, redressal of grievances of students, replaces the pre-existing regulations of 2019, and these regulations are applicable to all higher educations, universities, colleges, institutions affiliated with the universities. Next. The objective of these regulations is to provide opportunities for redressal of certain grievances. Grievances have been defined in the regulations of students already enrolled in any institutions. And I would like to particularly mention even the candidates, those who are seeking admission to such institutions, higher education institutions, are also covered under these regulations. Next. In these regulations, in comparison to previous regulations, scope has been extended. They are applicable to 2F status, but now even if an institution is not having 2F recognition from UGC, these regulations would be applicable to them. As far as students are concerned, even if they are pursuing course through different mode like online and ODL, they are also covered under these regulations. We have been receiving various complaints from the students on our e-Samadhan portal that universities are not implementing even their ordinances and statutes pertaining to the students, as well as non-implementation of guidelines framed by the regulatory bodies for the particular professional courses. So this has also been defined as one of the grievances in the definition of grievances. Next. These regulations provide flexibility, as these regulations have been framed in the light of National Education Policy 2020, which provides that light but tight regulations. So the authority of appointing ombudsperson, a number of ombudsperson, constituting one students grievance redressal committee or more than one grievance redressal committee has been delegated to the higher education institutions. They can constitute as many committees and they may have as many ombudsperson as per their requirement. HEIs are also being empowered if a committee is not resolving the grievance within a time frame, then it can be directly referred to the ombudsperson without waiting for the grievance committee to give its recommendations. Functions of grievance redressal committee has been listed in these regulations. A complaint from aggrieved student relating to that institution shall be addressed to the chairperson, and then this committee would act and follow the principles of natural justice, and 15 days working days time have been provided to the university, to the committee to provide their recommendation to the competent authority of the institution concerned. If a student is not satisfied with the outcome of his complaint to the student grievance redressal committee, then within 15 days of the decision of student grievance redressal committee, the student may prefer an appeal to the ombudsperson. Next. In comparison to previous regulations, now the procedure of appointment of ombudsperson is quite simplified. Every university has to appoint ombudsperson. These ombudspersons are part-time functionaries. They may appoint the required number, one or more required number of ombudsperson to hear the appeals of students of the universities as well as of the colleges affiliated to that university. The eligibility of ombudsperson for appointment to an ombudsperson is a retired vice chancellor or a retired professor or who has worked as head and dean and having 10-year experience, or a former judge is also eligible to be appointed as a ombudsperson. Up to 70 years of age, a ombudsperson can function. And the most important requirement is that ombudsperson should not be in conflict of interest with the university or institution concerned for which he has been appointed. Procedure. These regulations provide that every institution should have some online mechanism to facilitate the handling of grievances. The students would submit their grievances on the online portal. As soon as the grievance is received on the online portal, that institution is required to give their comments beforehand to the student grievance redressal committee. They are required to forward the complaint along with their comments to the students grievance redressal committee. Then student grievance redressal committee would fix a date of hearing in which student, either personally or through his or her representative, would present before the student grievance committee as well as institution. They would hear both the parties and then they would give their recommendation to the institution. UGC is continuously following up with these universities and higher education institutions to implement the regulations, and these regulations provide stiff penalties or consequences of non-compliance of the regulations. These consequences can follow not only by not appointing ombudsperson or constituting student grievance redressal committee. These consequences can follow even when the universities or higher education institutions are not implementing the decisions of the ombudsperson or student grievance redressal committee. Of course, action would be taken only after giving an opportunity to higher education institution to explain their position. Action will continue only till the higher education institution comply with the regulations or with the decisions of the ombudsperson or student grievance redressal committees, as may be the situation. These are the brief introduction about these are regulations, student grievance regulations.
Right. Deepakji, now let us take the questions or suggestions.
Yes,
there are electronic hands which are there on the screen.
Yes, sir.
The technical team may unmute one by one.
Okay, sir. Shri Om Prakash Gupta.
Yes, sir. I am Ombudsperson Gupta, Ombudsperson, JCRC University, Jaipur.
Sir, please.
Yes, sir. What else should I speak, sir?
No, if you have any suggestion, you may please make, because your hand is up. We have unmuted you.
That is all the way. I have no problem and no suggestions. The regulations are self-sufficient and have every provision to deal with each and every type of contingency and situation.
Thank
Okay,
you.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Please unmute the next person.
Dr. N.K. Mohinder Rao.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Myself, Dr. N.K. Mahendru.
Yes, sir.
I'm for the Amru University, Neer Chowk, Mandi.
Yes, sir. Please.
The suggestion is that if something is to be done for the students on their complaints, it should be done online, and if it is to be done physically, then the provision should be there that the airfare should be allowed. By
Yes.
road, at this age, it is not possible to go far off.
Right.
Sir.
So it is left to the institution. They should take care of these logistics.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Sandeep University. Sandeep University. And next, Shri A.K. Chawla. Dr. R.K. Gupta.
ये तो हो गया.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir. First of all, sir, I'm very grateful to you all for organizing such a meeting. My suggestion is, as told by Honorable Chairman UGC, if you want to improve research section, I will request you, just like NET exam, you should conduct a all India level basis PhD admissions test also. And also pre-PhD course should be conducted by making a cluster of at least 10 universities, because then the sincerity will come not only in research, but as well as also on the part of the research scholar. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Any one of you can unmute yourself now. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
I am Ahmad from Agriculture University.
I am Professor Phulekar.
Hello, sir.
Can you please speak one by one? Any one of you can unmute it. I will call the names. I will call the names and you can unmute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Professor Samaresh Prasad Chaudhary. Samaresh Prasad Chaudhary, would you like to speak something?
Sir, Professor S.K. Srivastava also here, sir.
No, I will call everybody. I will call everybody. Now, next we will go to J.V. Raj.
Sir, there is a voice issue. You are not clearly audible.
Okay, I think we will mute everybody and we will unmute. Otherwise,
Voice is very low.
background noise coming.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, please go ahead.
J.V. Raj, Ombudsman from Avinashilingam University, Coimbatore, sir.
Right, just a second, sir. Just a second. Professor J.V. Raj, could you please unmute now? Yeah, please unmute.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, I am JV. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Yes, I am JV Raj, Ombudsman, Avinash Lingam, Deemed University, Coimbatore. Yes, sir, the preliminary, the internal the committee should conduct a preliminary inquiry, isn't it?
Yes, the details are given
Hello.
in the regulation. Following the principles
Regulation.
of natural justice, you have to, the inquiry or whatever has to be conducted. The details are already given in the regulation.
Okay, sir. Whether it is in-camera proceedings or...
It is up to you. You can decide.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right.
If the aggrieved is not satisfied, they have to prefer an appeal before the ombudsman, no?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sir.
Thank you. Right. Dr. Ramchandra Shetty, could you please unmute?
Sir, are there any specific guidelines for ombudsman to act? I am Nrupatunga University ombudsman. Are there any specific guidelines like how we can proceed with or anything, or we have to prepare our own guidelines from our university?
The functions of the ombudsperson are outlined in the regulations, and how you conduct. See, you are all very experienced academicians. You have dealt with many such cases in your universities. So you need to decide how you conduct these proceedings. The only underlining thing is that you need to follow the principles of natural justice.
And is there any specific number of meetings to be conducted in university, or if it is only a work whenever there is a grievance?
It can be case by case.
Only case by case.
Yes.
No specific meeting can be conducted yearly once or twice like that.
The ombudspersons can conduct a university level awareness program. Maybe every semester, whenever new students come, you can conduct it in consultation with the Vice Chancellor.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Manoharan?
Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Good afternoon, Professor Jagadish and esteemed team members. We have implemented the regulation and formed the committee, and also I have been appointed as the Ombudsperson. My question is, since the inception of the University of Calicut, we have a board of adjudication of students' grievances called BASC. And it has been redressing the grievances of students since long. And it is going fine also. Every year we used to get 200 exam-related grievances, 200 general grievances. And that committee is redressing all the grievances, and final decision will be taken by the syndicate as per the statute. And this is a statutory provision also. In chapter 27 of the Calicut University Statute 1977, the clear mandate is given. So my question is, what shall we do when we have implemented the new regulation also now and appointed the Ombudsperson also? So there is a kind of a, some confusion regarding both the committees.
Right. You see, many universities may have some existing mechanisms for redressing the student grievance redressals. You can simply rename it as per the regulation, and the ombudsperson can continue to work, and the decisions taken by the ombudsperson can be reported to your statutory bodies.
Okay.
Okay. Right.
Okay. Thank you.
So
thank you, sir.
Let's go to Manipur University Ombudsperson. Could you please unmute, ma'am?
Yeah, I am Nopineshwari from Manipur University.
Okay.
I would like to suggest something regarding, while reading section 5 of the regulation number 5, Roman I take your attention at regulation 5, Roman 8. And while reading conjointly with section 5, Roman 8 and the section 8, Roman 2, it appears that the interpretation of section 5, Roman 8 may mean a report and a recommendation of a complaint to the Students' Grievance Redressal Committee, along with its comments within 15 days of receipt of complaint and online portal. Here, section 5 is substantive, while head note of section 8 is procedural. Therefore, substantive instrument cannot override the procedural statute there is no room left by the draftman of regulation that the two sections can be harmoniously interpreted anyway. Yes, matter may be resolved. And another one, sir, I would like to bring that the power of ombudsman, as said earlier, the functions, limitations, privileges, amenities, liabilities, and the responsibility of an ombudsman may be incorporated concisely in the regulation to effectively bring these regulations.
Right.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll consider your suggestion, man. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Professor Musaddiq Sahaf.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
I'm Ombudsperson, Islamic University of Science and Technology.
Okay.
I'm pleased to inform you that we have organized awareness programs where I was asked to make presentations to the new coming students who have been inducted to different programs this year.
Okay.
While discussing with the students, they were happy that they have been given right to speak about what problems they face, and they appreciated the efforts of the UGC as well. But unfortunately, some of the grievances which they mentioned do not fall within the scope what has been mentioned in the notification. Like some of the students said that they don't have effective teaching. I discussed it with them. I said that this is an internal affair. The university has to address this issue. UGC, University Grants Commission, cannot interfere in the internal working of the universities as such. But they said that there are certain situations where we discuss it with the internal officers of but most of the time they protect the interest of the teachers rather than they take our side. So is there any possibility of giving some wider scope to the grievances that fall within the notification?
Well, you see, certain grievances or complaints do not come under this regulation, such as, let's say there is a sexual harassment case. It has to go to ICC,
Yes,
which is
there's a committee.
for all the institutions to have ICC. And similarly, if there is a issue of general standards of teaching, learning processes are not satisfactory and so on, that doesn't fall into the personal grievance of the student. It's a collective institutional issue. About which UGC is coming up with several measures to positively incentivize the institutions to improve. So I think as Ombudsperson and the student grievance redressal committees, you will have to apply your mind and deal with those cases appropriately.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's now go to Professor Kemparazu.
Hello.
Hello.
Sir, I am audible.
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. I am Professor T.D. Kemparaju, former Vice Chancellor of Bangalore North Universities, and currently I was designated the Ombudsperson of Bangalore City University, Bangalore. At the outset, I congratulate and appreciate the efforts taken by UGC in addressing the various critical issues of the students to put the students in a comfortable zone. Here, I wanted to make 2 points. One is, anyway, in the guidelines, it is stated that within 15 days after receiving the complaint or the grievance from the students, the grievance redressal cell has to resolve these as per the provision of rules and regulations, etc. Point is very clear, sir. Here, on certain extraordinary situations, some emergency issues may also rise, where the students want answers or the resolutions solutions to such grievances even less than 15 days also. What I want to suggest here is that you can add a one subclass on emergency situations to address such kind of emergency grievances. The student redressal cell as well as Ombudspersons can also convene the emergency meeting to give the justice for the students. That is what the point number 1 I wanted to submit. Second one, what is very important is creating an awareness among the students about the existence of this kind of a system in the university portal. Of course, okay, university students in the campus, they may be aware of this. What about the colleges who are students studying in the rural areas? What I want to suggest here is that to give wider publicity about this kind of a mechanism, it is in addition to universities, colleges also should give an awareness program or publicity through their college website or addressing the students in the beginning of the academic year, so that the students can able to know, understand, or able to know, come to know that this kind of system is there where we can submit our grievances to get back the solutions of the justice. These are the 2 points I wanted to submit for your consideration, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Very good suggestions. The first one, the regulation says the grievances have to be redressed within 15 days.
Yes,
That means that is the upper cap. But in a shorter time, you want to resolve, that is most welcome. And the other one is all the colleges are affiliated to the universities. So therefore, any university which has affiliated colleges, they have to send circulars, they have to send information to the colleges. And also with your help as Ombudsperson, if you could request the university to provide information to the colleges, that would be good. And from UGC side also, we'll be writing to all the colleges about this provision. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So let's go to Shri Arun Sawant.
Yes, sir. I am Professor Arun Sawant, Ombudspersons of ICT Mumbai, Institute of Chemical Technology, and former Vice Chancellor at Rajasthan Province, Mumbai University. Yes, where I work in the university, the Students' Redressal Committee or Grievance Committee, well functional. But the question is that, at least in those cases, we had affiliating institutions or department, compliance was not coming to any solutions, not happening. Now there are provision, and when students used to go to the Honorable High Court would say, whether teacher or student, have you gone to redressal committee? And they are with a decision and no compliance, or there is no decision. It takes a lot of time, particularly. There is no early solution. So that's a problem that we have seen and we have faced. And it's a very important committee here now. And Ombudsperson procedure, at least we did not hear in those days, Now the issue is that what are the options available for students? Now institution, Ombudsperson also gives the decision. Is it binding on the concerned institution, or a student has to go to the Honorable High Court for further redressal of grievance?
See,
Of academic nature, retention of
court,
students, mark sheets, results, and grading,
Right. Going to the court can be very laborious process for a student.
Student.
So that is why if the Ombudsperson gives a decision and if the student is not satisfied, they can always approach UGC. We will try to resolve that.
And decision of Ombudsperson is binding on the university?
Obviously, the regulation gives you that power. And once you take a decision, it is binding on the university. And if the
is it like quasi-judicial?
Through the regulation, you get the power to implement your decisions.
Quasi-judicial.
So, and if the university doesn't implement your decision, then you can write to us. We will deal with the university.
That situation will not arise, I'm sure, but I must know all that. But we have the problem we are facing in the university.
Right.
Students who are after 2016 regulation, and they have stopped the PhD fellowships. So in case of the old students, what to do? How to meet their requirement of fellowships, That's the facing problem here.
Right.
So
this is something the university has to handle. But the other issue of some of the colleges not compliant with these regulations, this is a question of creating more awareness, and the information has to diffuse to different colleges. As Ombudspersons, you will play a critical role here. Perhaps with the help of the university, you can conduct online meetings with all the college principals and bring more awareness. This is my request.
And we are restricted to only the students' grievances, right?
Yes.
Faculty, if any, we have no jurisdiction, right?
This is students, yes.
And mostly of academic nature. I'm sure including the hostel, as you said in the beginning, issues related to hostels, harassments also.
Yes.
Because sexual harassment in case of the student is a separate committee.
Correct.
But I do not know at a hostel level, fees I can understand. But hostel level, what kind of grievances Ombudsperson can look in? This is also the major issue,
Yes. It varies in case by case. We can't really anticipate what problems will be there. Suppose a student felt that he was asked to vacate a hostel room.
Right.
And then there is a grievance there. So as Ombudsperson, you can look into that.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Professor Fulekar. There is a huge attendance. We have 655 participating in this meeting across the country, which is a very good sign. So let me go to Professor Vasudev Burman. Could you please unmute?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have gone through the regulations and UGC regulations, I mean, and University of Engineering and Management, Kolkata, of which I am the Ombudsperson, and I am a former Vice Chancellor, University of Kalyani, West Bengal.
Okay.
Here, what happens, what I have seen, that any grievance, the number of grievances is very small, I should say, but whenever it is lodged, the grievance redressal committee, they take it up within 1 or 2 days. And in most cases, the problems are resolved. My observation as a retired person from academic institutions is that if teachers and administration are very much in unison with the spirit of students, there would be no grievance. But that doesn't happen. That is an ideal case. But in my institution, the number of grievances practically tends to nil. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Professor Savitri Vinayak, could you please unmute?
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. First of all, I'm grateful for arranging this meeting. Yes, sir, I have a doubt that while you were addressing on a question that whether it's binding on the university and student, whatever the decision is given by Ombudsperson, yeah, your good self was answering that it binds both the university as well as the student.
Yes, yes.
But is there any provision in the regulations that it so binds both of them?
No, the fact that it is a regulation and announced by the, in the Gazette of India, it becomes the law of the land. And from the Gazette, you derive your powers.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
But another question. Your good self said that awareness programs will have to be conducted by the colleges and universities regarding the existence of these platforms to address the students' grievances. Yeah. But is it not wise that some notification or some binding regulation is made that the colleges should comply with that awareness, that they do conduct these awareness programs and a compliance report from them?
Ma'am, see, this regulation, once it comes in the form of a regulation, it is binding on all educational institutions. And it also becomes the responsibility of the university vice chancellor to make sure that this information is passed on to all the affiliating colleges and conduct awareness programs, not just only the ombudsperson. It's also the vice chancellor who has to conduct the awareness programs at least once in a semester, so that the benefits of the regulations will flow to the students.
That's what, sir. What's my grievance is that whether they have complied or not to follow up that, is there any rules made by the concerned universities?
The universities have to take care. See, UGC cannot micromanage everything. Universities are also responsible organizations. Every university can form their own SOP and ensure that these regulations are followed.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you,
Professor Umesh Gupta.
Yes, sir. Thanks for this opportunity and really nice to have an interaction with you. My question is, regulation is saying there is a SGRC and directly Ombudsperson. I'm Ombudsperson of ICFA University. Is it that the university is authorized to create a channel where SGRC decision if a student is not satisfied, he can approach to a highest authority like Vice Chancellor or this thing as an appeal and then goes to Ombudsperson? Is the university authorized to do that or not?
Why not? Why not? The Vice Chancellor, even before it comes to the Ombudsperson, the Vice Chancellor can always interact with the student and then resolve the issue. The major objective, the central objective is to resolve the grievances of the students, not get into the procedural issues and delay it.
Oh, fine. Thank you. This question is because of gadget language. So I believe it's not a legal issue. Thank you so much.
Let me just tell you, when I was JNU Vice Chancellor, I used to have every week, Monday afternoon, 2 to 5, any student can come and meet me if they have any grievances. We do have grievance redressal committees in the university, but still I could meet the students and resolve their problems. So all Vice Chancellors can do that.
Similar culture we have at our workplace. Thank you, sir.
Right. So let's go to Professor Enipoya. Just a second, I have to unmute. We will go to Professor Abdul Rahman. Could you please unmute? Yeah.
Good afternoon, Professor. Can you hear me?
All of you, please go ahead and speak. You don't have to ask. If we don't hear, we will tell you.
Okay. Now, actually, I had many doubts, but in reply to many members, it is clarified. Thank you for that. Okay. But one clarification I needed. Is there a time limit? For example, a student completes his degree, he gets out of the institution. What is there any time limit after 2 months, 3 months, he can give a complaint, or that the day he leaves the institution, that is over?
It applies to all the students, those students who have not yet joined the university, but they are in the admission process. It is for the students who are currently studying, for the students who have passed out. Even a passed out student may have a grievance because some certificate is not given. Where will that student go?
Is there a time limit for that?
It may happen after 10 years. After 10 years, he approaches the university and the university refuses to give, citing some rule or the other, without helping the student. The student may feel that that is a form of grievance. So he should be able to approach.
Regarding hostel, you replied to one of the members. Still, I mean, in any matter, they can approach. For example, vacating the room, indiscipline. Apart from that, the payment is not made, and the students are asked to go out. Is there any clarification for that?
You see, we cannot imagine every situation and define in the regulations. Regulations will only provide you the framework. And on the ground, depending on what kind of cases come, you will have to think about it and then address those issues.
So thank you, Professor. Thank you.
Okay. We will go to Sri Karthik Kumar. Could you please unmute? Please go ahead. Shri Karthik Kumar. Okay, we will go to Professor Devi Prasad. Could you please unmute?
Yeah, Pete. I have a couple of suggestions. One is on the issue of a representative of the student appearing. This should be little guarded. This is in the form of a domestic inquiry. So, as you know, in domestic inquiries, legal representation is not a right. And allowing legal representation may, so to say, muddy the waters. So, UGC may think of clarifying that representation does not mean legal representation, but by a friend or next of kin or something like that. That's one is suggestion. Second is the definition in grievance in item 15, denial of quality education. This is very, very broad, and anything can come under this definition. So I would suggest adding a word, denial of access to quality education or some such thing, so that it's manageable.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Shri Professor Kalyani Shekhar, would you please unmute?
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for this wonderful session. So mine is not a question on the regulations per se, but it is more of a practice. How important it is to have the anonymity of the student who's raising a grievance. This is a question to all of you who have practiced this.
Usually, we don't know. We keep such things confidential unless the student herself or himself makes it public. It's better to keep it confidential.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Let's go to Professor Sachidanand.
So good afternoon, sir. I am Dr. Sachidanand, former Vice Chancellor, Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Bangalore. My question is more of a clarification. For how many universities can we be ombudsperson? Can I be for more than one university? That's one. Second question is, can I be a ombudsperson for my alma mater? Two things, sir.
Well, see, one of the clauses that Dr. Deepak Vats has mentioned is that you should not have any conflict of interest.
Yes.
So please keep that as a guideline and do as is right. I don't want to define that. So, you know, you're all experienced academicians, you know how to handle such situations. And then in the regulation, I think we have not put any limitation whether you can be ombudsperson for one or two. Dr. Deepak Vats, did we put any such limitation?
No, sir, there's no such thing.
There is no such limitation.
There is no such limitation.
Right.
Ombudspersons are part-time functionaries.
Correct.
So that itself suggests that.
Right. If you are able to handle 2 or 3 universities, it's up to you. It's basically social service. It's serving the students. Right. So
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Let's go to Professor Meenakshi Ray. Professor Meenakshi Ray, could you please unmute? Okay. We will go to Professor Venkatarao. Could you please unmute?
Good afternoon. This is Professor Venkatarao, former Vice Chancellor of National Law School of India, University of Bangalore, at present the Vice Chancellor of India International University of Legal Education and Research, Goa, but Ombudsman of Nalsar, Hyderabad. And my 2 observations, because some of my colleagues have asked, what should be the guidelines while deciding? Now, number one is UGC has come out with elaborate guidelines. I have gone through every bit of it, and I must congratulate Jagdish Kumar and his team for the wonderful work. But the caveat is, no legislation can cover every situation. We have to bring it within the rubric of the legislation. And further, 2 things are absolutely required. Number one, just like for a mother, no child is a problem, but every child has a problem. For a student, no student has a problem, but every student has a problem. Please remember, no student is a problem. And therefore, you must go beyond the text to context with empathy to understand the grievance. Because the objective of the act is grievance settlement. Justice Krishna in one context says, where you have a grievance, the only question is how are you going to settle it? If peaceful settlement becomes impossible, violent settlement may become inevitable. Therefore, we must become foot soldiers to settle the grievances peacefully by acting proactively. This is what I wanted to suggest, congratulating UGC for taking such a wonderful initiative. Thank you.
Excellent, sir. You have captured the very essence of the regulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Professor Gopal Chandra Mishra, could you please unmute? Professor, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Actually, I am thankful to you for giving me this opportunity for interaction.
Right.
My question is that if a student feels scared to lodge complaint in fear of the political pressure outside the institution, how can we redress his or her grievance?
I think these are hypothetical issues. What we have seen that in most cases, the students' grievances are genuine and they need to be addressed in a timely manner. Okay.
Yes, sir. It may sometimes happens that due to fear of political pressure, he or she can be scared.
I think let's not attribute any motives to the students' grievances. These are young people. They do face many challenges, and let our spirit be to address their grievances.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you very much.
One thing, sir, I forget to indicate. Actually, I am the Ombudsperson of Jadavpur University, Kolkata, and I am the Ombudsperson of Swami Vivekananda University, Barakpur, West Bengal.
Okay.
I am the Ombudsperson of 2 universities, sir.
Right. Thank you very much for taking up such a difficult responsibility.
Yes, sir.
We will go to Professor Panchanadham. Could you please unmute?
Honorable Chairman, respected colleagues, good afternoon. At the outset, on behalf of all of us, we congratulate Honorable Chairman for giving wonderful answers. For many of our questions, answers have come already. But still, my request to the Honorable Chairman is, may we design an awareness come confidence building training program exclusively for a particular university, or whether UGC may sometimes come out with a common training, awareness come training module. I am Professor Panjanadam, former Vice Chancellor, Ombudsman of Srinivasa Dhanalakshmi University in Tamil Nadu.
Right. No, at this time, we are asking the universities to conduct these awareness programs. Universities should take the responsibility of addressing the grievances of the students, just as in the case of the ICC. UGC has the regulations, and it is the responsibility of the universities to conduct awareness programs about sexual harassment. As I said in the beginning, UGC should not be micromanaging everything and then conducting everything. All of us should take this responsibility. So let's go to Professor R.B. Sharma. Professor R.B. Sharma, could you please unmute?
मेरा सभी विद्वानों को सम्मान भरा नमस्कार और विशेष रूप से चेयरमैन साहब को यह अवसर देने के लिए I am R.B. Sharma, retired district judge and ombudsman from the Bennett University, Greater Noida, UP. Sir, though we have no reference, no appeal, fortunately, but I have to make one suggestion to make this system very effective, that there should be some periodical meeting between the administration, management, and committee. In the presence of ombudsman, they can sort out there so many things. It will give a boost and will enhance the effectiveness of this system. This is my suggestion.
Right. I'm sure, sir, many of you being very experienced persons, you will experiment with all these kind of ideas. Maybe after 6 months again, when we meet, you can tell us how these ideas, their implementations have led to successful grievance redressals.
Thank you. Though my university has no grievance, no reference, but still there is a need for the collaboration and coordination, effective coordination.
I agree, sir. I agree.
Thank you, sir.
Professor Nirmalya Banerjee, could you please unmute? Professor Nirmali Banerjee, yes. Sorry. Please go ahead. Professor Hemal Gopal, could you please go ahead?
Hello, sir. Very good afternoon. This is Hema Gopal. Thanks for the chance. I'm an ombudsman for Kanchi University. And I just listened to the section and the clauses. I just have being from the IT industry for 40 years, I just thought that there should be a process that can be established very well, where ombudsman induction can be done along with the freshers induction program like other committees, finance committee, sexual harassment committee, and also the a scholarship committee and placement committee introduction. That's the first thing that we already acknowledged. The second one is every university can have a ombudsman email ID, which can be generated and given to the respective ombudsman person for the tenure that they are there, so that the student's grievance at any point in time is in the online portal. The ombudsman has the equal opportunity to grab it and also look at it. And also with the help of the administrative support from the VC's office or administrative office, they can filter what is not the actual thing of jurisdiction for the ombudsman.
Yes.
Maybe, as you said, canteen committee or sexual harassment, hostel problems. So whatever is filtered is what you get. And from that, there can be a process document, as you explained clearly, where there are SLAs. The uppermost SLA, number 1, is about 15 days, and there is an immediate, any emergency has to be tackled immediately. So there is something like an ICU, and you handle it. And the way you want to measure it is that you wanted to really talk to the college to see whether what is the implementation timeline and how it is implemented, whether there is a delayed feedback on the grievance that has been addressed, because we don't want to repeat the same grievance by the set of students again and again, so that it is done once for all, so that you are really coming up with a clean thing. And also to measure the success of all the grievances that you have addressed, look at kind of a plan to check act cycle where you can probably implement it and put it as a process into the next induction, so that the students are not getting to do the same thing, and the university also is benefited by the experience of the ombudsman. So that way the entire flow chart will become complete, not only with the process but also the measuring the SLAs, so that this is online and real time. So my request is to have a ombudsman ID and also support, and this is my 2 suggestions, sir.
We have already written to all the universities to create an online portal and provide all the details of the ombudsperson and other committee members of the redressal committees. My request, and also many of the things that you have mentioned, they can also be inputs to other colleagues who have joined on this platform, how to take care of the grievance redressal. And my other request is that, majority of your academicians and some of you are from legal background with immense experience. Please do have a meeting with the Vice Chancellor once in a while, exchange ideas. They're also academicians like you only, so that this entire regulation and the issue of redressing the grievances of the students becomes a success. Let's go to Dr. M. Muralidhar.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Dr. Muralidhar. Okay, let's go to the VC ICT Mumbai, Professor Aniruddha Pandit.
Thank you, Professor Jagdish Kumar, and thank you for giving me an opportunity. I have a quick question. If a students complain about the fellowship not being received from the UGC, and we send multiple mails to UGC, this is regarding the PhD fellowships after 2016.
Right.
We don't get any response from the UGC, whom to approach. Point number 1, and let me just complete. Second is this is related to FRP positions. We have got 13 of them. Whom they should approach? Should they also approach Ombudsman, or they can directly approach the VC, because the issues related to cash benefits, cash promotion benefits, which they are not getting. These are the only 2 issues, sir. Thank you.
So let me address the FRP issue first. If any FRP has any issue, they can directly write to Dr. Deepak Vats, who is here. He is Joint Secretary here.
Okay.
And with regard to the non-disbursal of the scholarships, if they are UGC net scholarships, our portal for the scholarship disbursal is very robust. And the student can actually see where the file got stuck and then raise an auto email to the respective authority within the university. And if all that also is not resolved, you can write to our scholarship section headed by Dr. Deepak Vats. We will try to resolve that.
Great. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much for your clear answer. Thank you very much.
Okay. We will go to Makhanlal Chaturvedi University. Could you please unmute? I will unmute one by one. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, actually, one query is that there are some nominations to be get from the government. So we are not getting the nomination. Can you suggest what we can do for that?
Nominations for what?
Sir, actually, in that it is mentioned nominee of governor of the state chairman, 2 vice chancellors by rotation from public university of the state to be nominated by the state government, 1 vice chancellor by rotation from the private university of the state to be nominated by the state government, and secretary higher education of the state member convener. That is mentioned in your gadget. So we are following the same, and we have written so many letters to government.
Okay.
But unfortunately, we are not getting any nomination. So what we can do? Directly we can give the advertisement, or what you will suggest?
Dr. Deepak Vats?
Sir, I think he is referring to the previous regulations which has been superseded by 23 regulations. So these regulations are no longer in force. So in 2023 regulations, university is empowered to appoint ombudsperson. No nomination is required from UGC or from government.
Right. So we can directly give the advertisement. Now we can do. Okay. Right.
So precisely to overcome all these challenges only, we have brought the new regulation.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now we will go to Professor Ernest Samuel. Could you please unmute? Professor Samuel? Okay, we will go to Professor Vinod Kumar Jaiswal. Could you please unmute?
Sir, namaskar.
Namaste.
मैं प्रोफेसर विनोद कुमार जायसवाल, रिटायर्ड प्रोफेसर, डीन फैकल्टी ऑफ लैंग्वेजेस, पंडित शंभुनाथ शुक्ल विश्वविद्यालय शहडोल। सर, मुझे 10 जुलाई 2023 को नियुक्ति पत्र प्राप्त हुआ था लोकपाल के रूप में, और मैंने 25 सितंबर 2023 को ज्वाइन किया है। उसके बाद से मेरे सामने कोई भी ऐसा प्रकरण नहीं आया जिसमें छात्रों की शिकायत हो, और जानकारी लेने पर यह भी पता चला कि यहाँ जो छात्र शिकायत निवारण प्रकोष्ठ गठित है, उसके सामने जो भी शिकायतें आती हैं समय सीमा के अंतर्गत वे उनका समाधान कर देते हैं और किसी तरह की कोई समस्या नहीं है।
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Ji. Thank you very much. Let's go to Professor Tapas Panda. Could you please unmute?
Yeah. Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Tapas Panda. I'm referring to AIPH University Bhubaneswar. It's an Institute of Public Health. I have a submission. Whether a senior government officer having vast presidential experience and adequate knowledge on law with degree in law can be appointed as ombudsperson. And second, if union wants to be party into litigations faced by the students, whether they can be allowed to be part of the redress grievance of the students.
Sir, who can become an ombudsperson? It is clearly defined in the regulations. So we need to follow that.
Okay. And second, this unions can they be part of the
No. See, these are all individual grievances of the students, and only the student will deal with that.
They can be denied.
Only the students will be, their grievances will be taken into consideration, and they have to meet the ombudsperson and the grievance redressal committee, nobody else.
Oh, thank you.
Right. Professor S.K. Srivatsava.
Yes, sir. Very good afternoon to you all and greetings to my colleagues. Sir, pleasure, Honorable Chairman, sir, pleasure meeting you on virtual platform online and all my other colleagues. And just one liner, that I appreciate this student-centric, approach, for the HEIs, by the UGC. And I think the regulations and the gadget notifications, sir, is very clear. It is self-explanatory. So I think there are no questions otherwise. But as you said, it's always a continuous process. So whenever something comes up, we'll share with you.
Right.
Well, sir, give me just a few seconds to start with the famous, line by William Gladstone, that justice delayed is justice denied. I think he articulated this about 200 years back in House of Commons. Right. I think same thing must apply to our dear university students.
Right.
Who are the beneficiary for the higher education and so on.
Right.
And making it student centric while maintaining our academic excellence, pursuing academic excellence and all that has to be our motive, sir. Right. And let me just a couple of points. Of course, you and Dr. Deepak ji has very nicely, explained every point about this issue. And sir, I am an ombudsperson for Central University of Rajasthan.
Right.
And of course, you mentioned about the student fees, hostel issues, academic and all that. So let me slightly elaborate a little more that whenever, sir, there is a grievance on day number 1, for whatever reason, it may be personal, it may be due to financial, it may be somebody health issues also, immediately in my humble view, and I think all of you will agree, being like a family member, if students are treated like a family member, the mental stress starts from day 1. So I think while taking the in-house, corrections at the university level, and then coming to level of ombudspersons, so there is some time delay. And as you rightly mentioned, about 15 days is there, but in less than this, we should address it. And here in the lighter vein, I think many of our vice chancellor colleagues are there, are many of our colleagues. Whenever a parliamentary question comes, every VC, the whole registrar, the whole university is on the toes, and they want to settle within 1 or 2 or 3 days. Why not for our students? So that is my very humble submission.
Right.
Make it a very speedy, redressal matter. And secondly, I think students, I should not be misunderstood on this point. There are male students and female students. And of course, as you rightly said, that sexual harassment and all are taken care of by ICC. That's a separate issue. But there are some female students, they may be under some kind of grievance or stress due to other reason, which is gender specific, maternity issues and some other issues are there. So I think we should have some special provisions for the students also. And whenever there is a committee, at least ombudsperson, if there is only one, or he can make a small committee or some invitees and all that. So I think our lady colleagues must be so I think that's all for the time being. So no delay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. No, I agree with the spirit of what you said. We need to be empathetic towards the students. We should not consider them as adversaries. The processes have to be simple. It's not like court proceedings.
Yeah.
The main objective is to redress the grievance of the student so that the student can continue to focus on their academics without any stress.
And so,
a recording of this will also be available on our social media platforms and other places, so that the new ombudspersons, they can watch this. Students also can watch this, and more awareness will be created.
And so let me add, I just forgot to mention this. Like whenever we get a letter, students also must be complaining to UGC. So I think any redressal or whatever measures we take, ombudsperson, they should be under intimation to UGC. That's my humble submission.
Right.
That should be also included. And secondly, sir, while dealing with the mental stress part, I think the in-house counseling, etc., should also be, because the moment we get a strong grievance, the trigger starts. So I think ombudsperson should immediately inform the VC that way you take care of this student and all that. Usko thoda bula ke, usko pyar se thoda samjha ke, so that we can provide at least empathy if we cannot help much, because there are rules and regulations we cannot violate for the university, but within that empathy, compassion can come in. Thank you, sir. It's a great initiative. Hats off. I salute to you, sir. Yeah.
So parallel student support systems must
be
in all the universities. Thank you very much. Let's go to Professor Ranga Maharshi. Could you please unmute? Professor M.S. Turan, could you please unmute?
Good evening, sir. This is Professor M.S. Turan, Ombudsperson for Guru Jambheswar Institute of Science and Technology, Hisar, a state university of Haryana. Sir, first of all, I would like to congratulate you for bringing out and amending from time to time so robust regulations in the interest of students. And I also appreciate and congratulate you again for having the idea of holding this meeting with the Ombudsperson, because it will institute the seriousness amongst all of us who are given this responsibility by various universities according to these regulations. I have gone through these regulations several times and I don't find any difficulty in implementing these regulations. These are very simple and crystal clear. And with a little common sense, we can very easily implement these regulations.
Right,
sir, I would also like to inform you that the university where I have been appointed the Ombudsperson, I have been just formally and informally been in touch with the people who are in the internal grievance committee to just to have an idea as to what kind of grievances they are receiving from the students, and is there any serious grievance or are these pending. So I have been even before just start of the meeting, I took the latest information that I would go to the meeting with some information about you. So they told me that, sir, no very serious grievance is pending with us. There are small things and we are handling at our own level. So I congratulated them because it's a good thing.
Right,
so if the internal committees are robust and they are serious, then I think the interest of the students are in the safe hands of the academic fraternity of the universities.
Right.
Sir, I was going to thinking of suggesting at least one meeting in a year under your own chairmanship for taking recollecting the experiences of the people.
Right.
As Ombudsperson, but you have already said that you might be holding another meeting after 6 months.
Yes.
So I again congratulate you and my best wishes to the University Grants Commission, where I have been also associated for a very, very long time. So, sir, thank you so much for giving me the time and patient hearing.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Professor Bhavana Shah, could you please unmute? Yes, please go ahead. Professor Bhavana Shah, please unmute again. Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. I'm thankful for this meeting, and I'm a retired professor from Veer Narmad South Gujarat University, Surat. At present, I am Ombudsperson in private university Vidyadeep Surat Kim.
Okay.
I just want to know whether this meeting, about this meeting, the respective university has been informed or not. That about today's meeting. I just want to. It is just for my personal this thing. And another thing is that if there is any grievances, is there any time limit that we cannot complete the task within 15 days? We have to ask the time limit for certain particular case if it is not been completed. And the third, yes.
This particular question, let me ask. We have put this 15 days cap so that it can be speedily resolved. If there was some local issue or something, you can talk to the student, you can talk to the committee and then resolve it.
Yes, but we can get the extension at the local level.
At the local level, you can, don't take these cases as some court cases kind of thing.
No. Never.
Right.
Certain paperwork or something to be legally given as a document, it takes time, sometimes.
Right.
Like certificate.
So the reasons can be recorded and then the inquiry can be taken forward.
Yes, certain certificate have to be collected from the main office or something like that.
Correct.
The third thing is that already some of the things have been discussed earlier by certain professors, but I want to know, so like you said that we have to interact with the respective university and conduct a workshop like that. But if the university is not so much keen, do we have to ask from our side?
No, you can have a word with the Vice Chancellor and in a collaborative manner, both of you can conduct this awareness program.
Okay. So it means that we should meet at least once in a year or something like that to the respective university where
Every
we are.
semester, maybe every semester, you and the respective Vice Chancellor can together conduct an awareness program.
Okay, so it is between mutual relations.
Right, right.
Okay. Yeah, and once again, I thank the team and you especially.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So let's go to Professor Madhumita Das.
Namaskar.
Namaste.
Very good afternoon to you all. I am Ombudsperson in Odisha in several universities, and I was also have the experience of acting as the ICC coordinator. So I would like to say that there are certain sensitive issues that is they are existing in the students, but they do not come for the grievance cell. So I would like to ensure I will visit the university personally and I will make a rigorous awareness program so that students will really come with their grievances, particularly in the women university. And I think that should be the role of an ombudsperson. So thank you so much, sir, for this online meeting. And I think many things have been clear to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I'm sure all the ombudspersons will work with the same enthusiasm that you have shown. Now, building confidence and trust in the minds of the students is very important so that they can come forward. Right. Thank you, ma'am. Professor Seema Malik, could you please go ahead?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. It's been an interesting meeting, and initially I had a couple of suggestions and queries, but I think they've all been taken care of. Except that I think, and that also has been clarified now, that we need to disseminate the information among the students until and unless they are actually aware that such a platform is available where they can actually bring up their grievances. I think the entire purpose will not be served. So I think, as you have just very nicely pointed out, that every semester we should get in touch with the Vice Chancellor and mutually decide on conducting a kind of awareness program or a workshop. I think that would be nice. And thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to speak. And it's been an interesting meeting today. Thank you so much.
We will also write to the Vice Chancellors to get in touch with the Ombudsperson every 6 months and conduct this awareness program so that it can be done easily.
Yeah, that would be really nice because the purpose is to make the students aware and they should avail this opportunity. Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's go to Dr. Kshama Agarwal. Could you please unmute?
Sir, I am Professor Kshama Agrawal from Rajasthan University, but at present I am Ombudsman of Manipal University, Jaipur. Actually, I have few suggestions for the university. That university must circulate the position of the ombudsman to the students so that whenever there is need, they can join the ombudsman directly. They can come to the ombudsman directly. And second thing is, every second month, there should be a meeting with the senior faculty members or with the senior positions of the university, so that they also make it possible that whenever there is discrepancy in the system, it should come to the ombudsman and the position of the ombudsman can do justice.
Right.
At present, I am ombudsman since 2019, but I have not received even a single complaint. That's the main problem.
So we have asked all the universities to provide the information of the Ombudsperson student grievance redressal committee details on their portals. We will again write to the Vice Chancellors about this. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So we have spent 1 hour, 20 minutes. Perhaps we will take a couple of other suggestions and then we will close. I know you're also busy people with various other commitments. I will go to Professor Afzal Wani. Could you please unmute?
Right, sir. Yeah, actually, I want to very greatly appreciate the way you conducted the meeting, and I did have many suggestions. but many have been met. I would say that the Ombudsman has to be like a support to the student as well as to the institution. And he does not need to be so much procedural. And then somebody was asking about whether it is quasi-judicial, judicial. It's not, it is human. You are human, and your own children, your own institution, your own nation. And my only one thing that also you covered lately, that at least once one meeting or one awareness program of the students with the Ombudsman should be in the institution at least once. I think that can give them some kind of idea of getting to that with some kind of, it's not necessarily there should be some grave kinds of things. Students have sometimes just very simple issues also. I think they get inspired also some way. Okay, there is somebody, it's a support, it's a psychological support. There is somebody, he will take my care that way. So that's all. I think I should say this only at the moment.
Absolutely.
And believe that this is a big way we have gone in the nation. We are, taking care of the student, and we are producing nation builders. That's how, the feeling there is an ombudsman in the mind of the student is really giving the confidence. As we have that of mentors, okay. We sometimes feel, if I find a student in some kind of depression kind of thing, I say, look to Netaji, Sardarji, how many troubles they faced. You can do it, we can cooperate, we can help you. And at the same time, your own other energies inside, bring them out and be globally competitive, as our policy says. And we have a very high, this Udan to make. That's what I would say at the moment. And every ombudsman should take his own just, fair and reasonable way of resolving the issues that way. That's what I can say at the moment.
Excellent.
So really, it was a great...
You have very nicely summarized the spirit of the regulations. Thank you very much.
Right, sir. Thank you.
So let's take one last suggestion. It's already 3:25. Justice Ashwath Narayana, could you please unmute?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
It's a nice program. See, my suggestion is, it's answered already to some extent. A grievance, creating awareness among the students as well as the public is the backbone of success of this success of this regulations. We can do as an ombudsman, as a university persons, we can create awareness. Apart from that, legal services authority, it's an independent authority. It is there. We can take assistance of those persons to create awareness throughout the nation. So that we can do it, sir. Rest of the things are attended. We can do it, no problem. We are at the services of students as well as, because they are our children. We can do it. We can do whatever the extent possible. We can do justice.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. That is the objective of the regulations, that we need to take care of our students, address their grievances. And it is so nice to hear from all of you that you are so enthusiastically inclined in resolving these student issues. And I must thank on behalf of UGC for taking up this important responsibility in your life. And it gives such immense pleasure interacting with these young minds and addressing their issues. We will meet every 6 months once, and then share our experiences and learn from each other. With those comments, sir, I would like to conclude here. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.